Okay.
And the bottom and the top are just pieces of cardboard paper
Mm-hmm.
with plastic. The plastic mold is the same for both bottom and top, so it just looks like they made the plastic mold, cut it in half. But I mean, you've got some piece of wire in the middle that I can't figure out the application for. But it looks like a pretty simple circuit.
Is the bulb's just inside at the bottom, right?
Yeah, well, just inside the bottom, like I said, it's got this, I don't even know what this is for. Set up on these.
I like this idea where, let's put this thing in here.
So maybe you can set it up without burning, the bulb won't burn the paper, and you can just set it down too, as opposed to having it have it on.
So let's do the developing country applications, and let's cite these guys. I'll show you how to use EndNote if you haven't before. So here's EndNote. Let's go to EndNote.
That's an incandescent, isn't it, or is it?
Probably, yep. It's incandescent. It's got a little filament in there.
That's what I thought. It doesn't look broke yet.
Okay, so let's find these guys. So off-grid energy services for the poor. Let's see if we can just. So let's go to the web. We'll go to Web of Science. We'll hit title. I'll type this in. Enter. Search. Wow, 2 instead of 1. Here they come. So what's this one? Pages 2610 to 2610. Ah, this is the one.
That was a problem, it was just bent.
Copy reference to.
Is that what the wire did, was to hold it up?
Yeah, the wire was just bent down. Somebody just collapsed the wire.
So here we'll reference Atkins right there. I think you got to have. I mean, there's your people and prosperity and planet thing too, right? Because like you're saying, you're not going to go after the guy who's already killing it in the oil fields and coming home. You're going to go after someone who's concerned here in the States, and the person who has no other option, right? Burning their stinky kerosene or whatever.
So it'd be kerosene or diesel?
Yeah, for these guys, right? Yeah, I mean, that's what they're comparing it to.
The off-grid people.
Uh-huh.
The little Barbie that in her house that, her husband's out working in the oil field and she's got nothing better to do than water the lawn.
Yep.
Clean the house if she's that motivated or inclined.
This is wild, man. Look at this. It says apart from lost productivity due to poor lighting, right? I mean, that's how our society is done as well. We get to burn the midnight, burn the midnight incandescent, not the oil. Rural households face recurring expenditures on fuel, sometimes reaching 25% of household budgets. Obtaining fuel can be time-consuming, undertaken by women and children. Fuel-based lighting is soot, indoor air pollution, and burns. Furthermore, the consumption of fuel for lighting, 1.3 million oil per day, results in CO2, blah, 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 yuck, yuck, yuck. Okay, so I think we're right in the thick of it. When was this thing published? 2010? Now, one thing you can do here, let's go back into. Actually, let's go into the library. And
Planet, I've got a Planet one up there too. They can look if you scroll down because it gives you perspective for 2030.
on what you sent me.
Yeah, it's basically a differentiation between 2003 and 2030 of the carbon dioxide emissions.
Oh,
The
really?
electricity consumption.
Okay.
And 50, I think it's 55 or 56% of the fuel, prospective fuel consumption is fossil fuel by then.
Mhm.
So that would be planted.
I gotta plug my computer in.
And then the prosperity is basically, the prices for the different systems that I was trying to analyze.
Yep.
There's one PV system that I went with just straight batteries. So, in fact, I think I pulled that from my reference from Practicum, energy storage, because it's got, the whole thing is just the different energy storage, and that was one that was analyzing the supercapacitor. I looked at compressed air a little bit again, but.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think it was feasible to make compressed air storage.
Yeah. Let's see, okay, so let's hit this one. Now, this is kind of neat, because what we can see is since 2010, I don't know if you guys have seen this before, but one nice thing about Web of Science is they keep track of how many times a paper's been cited. So, normally you look at a paper and you can see, oh, it's got 50 citations, but check this paper out. It's been cited 16 times. That's a lot in 4 years.
So basically,
So these are people, these have been published since, so this last month. Field trial testing of electricity producing portable biomass cooking stove. So I think they were probably doing, the connection here is sustainable energy, biomass, and Malawi as the country.
I think you should steer clear of biomass, just.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm looking at things that are, that paper was only citing the country and sustainable, not the LED. Submersible, there's also Africa, global, there's Taiwan, solar, India.
You want to pull my paper up again, because I think.
Sure. Where'd we put it? No, 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 no. Let me find it here, sorry.
It's right there on the bottom. The word, yeah, right there somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah, I might have closed it, let me just open it back up.
Can you scroll down? Can you scroll between there? It is estimated, I think that's where the planet would be.
What are we looking at?
The EIA,
Oh, uh-huh,
and that's the, just above that is estimated that between this 23 and 20, demand will increase by 14.7 billion kilowatt hours to
30, okay.
2030, with 65% of these supplies having been generated by fossil fuels, which is not very good.
Okay, 65%. Yeah, is that the business as usual?
Yes.
That's the business as usual? So
That's-
those numbers must be somewhere in love and, well, we should be able to,
So, and then you scroll down to this, the different batteries.
Oh, yeah.
Different batteries that I was looking at.
mm-hmm,
Like his advantages and disadvantages.
nice.
So efficiency, I think efficiency is how much they charge in, are you gonna return, how much percentage of return comes out of the battery?
Yep. Sounds pretty good. One thing, oh, and you've got energy density here too. Yes, so, yeah, lithium can achieve the highest energy density there. Watt hours per kilogram, nice. Efficiency available.
obviously that's a percent of return that
Mhm.
you can get back out of it.
Energy out over energy in, exactly, yeah.
There was also one in there that I looked at, and it's up, further up there, it talks about when you're charging your thermal energy,
Yeah,
it just, batteries only store the chemical energy, so your thermal energy is wasted.
yeah,
Thermal, so it's wasted either way, and your electricity, you have thermal energy in it, too, that's all wasted, but your PV, you don't use that thermal energy anyways. Because the hotter your PV gets, it
loses, yeah, increases
It would
resistance.
be an advantage to charge batteries with thermal energy as opposed to, or solar energy as opposed to fossil fuels. Because fossil fuels, you're creating thermal energy.
Yeah, if you're gonna go,
That's what I was thinking.
yeah, no, if you're going from chemical, so fossil fuels being chemical, if you're going from chemical to electric, yeah, it's.
The electric would carry the thermal too.
Well, it goes through the thermal, I mean,
The thermal energy that you're wasting is basically the heat that gets vented off of the plant, goes up in the
Yeah,
smokestacks.
yeah.
That's the thermal energy.
Yeah, that's your 60% loss.
So in charging, I'm just wondering where the thermal energy goes. I know your batteries get hot and they.
Oh, yeah, here, I got a little something to show you on that one. That's another good one here, let's,
And I was just thinking we could use that as a thing to say, hey, concepts out there, great, you don't really need all this thermal energy for the PVs to make it. In fact,
Oh, sure.
You're gathering that thermal energy, but it's been off somehow anyways in the charging process.
yeah, well, all of the energy becomes thermal. I mean, it all becomes thermal. It just becomes thermal a little less quickly. What's that?
Is that the second law of thermodynamics?
Pretty much, yeah.
I think I put it up as the first law, so I'm gonna have to change that.
Here's the way to calculate the thermal energy, and we could do that too. We could just calculate straight up. So E. Let's do it this way. So power equals VI. We know that. What's Ohm's law?
Equals IR.
Yeah, V equals IR. I thought you said E. V equals IR. There we go. So from that, P equals I squared R. And here it is, Gary. There's the actually let me use a capital T for temperature or thermal. This is the rate at which any electronics generate heat. So if this R were 0, if it were a superconductor, it wouldn't generate any heat at all. But the greater the resistance and the greater the current, the more power is coming off as thermal. And that's just called Joule heating. So every substance that's conducting current and has a resistance is making thermal. So we could calculate that for our, well, in fact, I mean, here's the trick question. Here's the trick question. Going back to our PowerPoint, if we're running our light bulb at 100 watts, of that 100 watts, how much of it is well, coming right out of the bulb, how much is what percentage is thermal and what percentage is light?
Probably 90.
It's like, yeah, it's like 90 to 95% is thermal coming right off, and only 5% is light. But when you get into your LEDs, it's more like 70% is light and maybe 30% is thermal. But the other question is, of that energy, what becomes thermal? All of it, even the light, because once that light hits the wall just got hotter. I mean, sure, you're using the light, but eventually it just gets soaked up and turns to heat. Okay, so that's that equation. Let's go back into the EPA's deal here. Private application materials. It says it's available at grants.gov. Let's just call these guys right now. What the heck?
Further submission, see section I, submission instructions and other submission, what's IBE, is that on this page?
Section 6, Section 4?
Yeah, it says submission instructions and other submission requirements.
Yeah, I don't, you can only get, this might be it right here. Let's just take a look.
Eradicating property is the greatest global challenge facing the world.
Mm-hmm.
Sustainable science.
Cool, man. These guys, okay. 2 phases. This is the RFA. Okay, this is it. We found it. The purpose of this RFA is to solicit proposals for innovative research and design to compete in the first phase. To test, research, and develop innovative scientific projects or engineering designs that will promote sustainable development. Perfect. In the spring of 2014. So this is going to look just the same. It's just going to say in the spring of 2015. Okay, so we would have to have something ready to go by spring.
The document-wise.
No, the document's got to be ready this fall. I think then if you get the phase 1, you got to bring your gadget to DC in the spring. That's the way I'm reading it. In the spring of 2014, there it is, got it. We're all ready to go. Phase 1 grantees, okay. Sweet, all right, good. Oops.
What's going on today in school? There's a bunch of people walking around.
I don't know. It's always there's all kinds of cool stuff over on the East Campus. You never know.
East Campus. What about South Campus? There's a lot of shit over there.
Yeah.
A lot of shit happening.
Yeah.
A lot of cows pooping.
a lot of golfers golfing.
Well, my girlfriend was like, you gotta ride all the way over past Providence Health Medical Center. I'm like, no. And then it dawned on me, there's the South Campus over there.
Yeah. Goal 1, engage and educate the next generation. That's us. External communities. That's us. Spark innovation. Here we go. Support, demonstrate sustainable around the world. Foster development, small business. Okay, so maybe we could get a little small business plan rolling out of this thing. I don't know. Would you guys be passionate about this beyond the initial phases, like made in Montana? Like, I am so proud of that solar car we built. I don't see us all like cruising around our solar cars anytime soon. But this little doodad, sell it at the green light.
So we're talking about just the light, we're not talking about.
Not only selling at the green light, I mean, you remember, what was the guy that come and talked to us in the practicum? The guy, solar technology.
Which one? Because Leg and Todd came in from McKinstry. Dave Doucette came in from REC.
It was this guy that was talked about solar panels himself.
Yeah, Dave Doucette.
Okay. So he talked, before we started going, he was talking about the welding plant that they were putting out at water.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they're hiring 30 high-tech special welders.
Yep,
for that.
yep.
And it's online, they're doing it
Mhm.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking it would be an industry. You could, I mean, you can make them here.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think the business community would love to see stuff get manufactured in Missoula.
Well, I think in our initial application, we're gonna have to have, that it'll cost this much to make these.
I'm getting so bad at spelling, it's just not even funny. Okay, entrepreneurial plan for manufacturing in Missoula. We gotta go with that. Demonstration around the world. And what's this thing called? What did Paul call it when one person in the U.S. Is it a 2-for-1? It was something else. He had a special name for what it means when
If you buy it in the US, it gets donated.
somebody else gets a second one. Yeah,
For free.
yeah.
What do you call that?
I'm just going to call it the 2-for-1 model. He had a special. I just mentioned it. He's like, oh no, that's the
That, you're gonna have to, so I think. it would
You double the
probably-
cost, right?
Well, you'd double the price of each model. but
Yeah.
If you could take the price of the second model and just take a fraction of so many different ones, sooner or later it's gonna come back sort of like the bank, the dollar denomination when the bank loans money to you. You actually pay the bank back more money in time. And I can show you a little Ponzi scheme, of course.
Yeah. Maybe instead of mailing it around the planet, maybe we just take it to take them up to Browning.
On the reservation.
Yeah. Then your shipping costs are lower. Maybe we even do some manufacturing in Browning. Do some assembly. We start a little assembly here, and then run it up there. Teach those guys to solder. Test the circuit. That's some, going back, let's just go back to the RFA. 4 strategic goals, sustainable technologies around the world. Interdisciplinary team of undergraduate, graduate students. So I think team of students. One thing I need to hire this fall is a PhD in material science.
For the recycling program?
Yeah. I've told the Department of Labor we're going to start a recycling technologies course, and I really need someone to run it. And I think if I get somebody out of just whatever, maybe they're at Tech, maybe they're somewhere Washington State, but they're looking to do a PhD in material science. Maybe they come here and teach that, and we get the manufacturing going there too. Maybe that person helps out with the manufacturing too.
It could be like an education component to this too, or
Yeah.
like if you explain to somebody, okay, if you bring this inside and carry it around your house, instead of turning on your lights, you're going to save this many watt hours or kilowatt hours and this much money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you run at 100 kilowatts, you're gonna save as much money as, or if you run the 100 watts light like we had it designed, you're
Yep.
gonna save a little over 2.5 hours of turning your 100 watt light bulb on. Or you're gonna save 16 minutes of running your toaster continuously.
Oh yeah. Let's look at this price too. This will get into.
That was one of my questions last week I couldn't explain it the way you guys could understand it, that I thought would be important.
So here, this will be dollars, right? So equals, kilowatt hours. What's the rate in Montana?
Base rate or the total including?
Total. Let's just call it the total. Is it 10? Is it 12 cents?
11 cents? I think we used 11.
Let's use 11. So the thing is old. It's let's see, number, currency. You're soaking up 3 cents of electricity a day. That's kind of the reality. 3 cents of electricity is really all you're saving
See now why that article that
In Montana.
in Montana.
in New York would be like 18 cents.
In Malawi, it could save your life.
Well, in Malawi, it's not optional.
Right.
You don't have the electric.
Right.
You don't have the
Right.
infrastructure.
Right.
That's why that Australian article that I was citing, that McHenry
Mm-hmm.
article, that's why I was saying that it doesn't save to run this in a place where you're hooked up to electricity, because it's just more cost effective to pay the electric company so you can walk in and turn the light on.
Mm-hmm.
That's at 100 watts, but we never did the equation for a 40-watt light bulb, 40 to 80. Because if you could turn the LEDs up, turn that resistance up between 40 and 80, you would expand your...
Oh, sure, yeah.
Expand the lifetime of your charge capacities.
Yeah, I think I've got that, oh, I thought I put dimmer on here. Oh, yeah, let's put,
Too much coffee, go drink some more sugar.
so dimmer on system to extend lifetime. Yeah, there's no reason not to have a dimmer on the dang thing. Or we do dimmer slash bulb selector, right? Because if you have multiple LEDs slash bulb system to extend lifetime. Okay, I like that. 3 cents a day. All right, let's go back to the RFA. Okay. Partnerships with industry are strongly encouraged. Okay, that's good. Arrow. Yeah, Arrow. Come on. See, this is how you write. You just take right off their page, and then you go. So battery doctors. We'll get Andrew McChain in on this.
Yeah.
We'll get my own company, Human Powered Future. We'll get Montech. We'll get Arrow. How's that? That's probably enough for now. Move to the marketplace. Matching contribution. Let's just highlight that too. Anticipated partnerships should be identified. So, go to, okay. Although P3 funding, only research, you cannot commercialize. Proposals with commercial potential are encouraged to apply to EPA's small business. Has provided incentives small EPA on a federal. Okay, so the EPA does have its own SBIR. That's good.
Small Business Innovation Research.
Small Business Innovation Research.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
What's the link to it?
Oh, that's down the road. We'll just write it up in there. What I wrote in here is that partnership with industry or non-governmental are strongly encouraged. We'll say something about it. We plan to apply for SBIR funding through Montech. See letter from Joe Fangi and Josh Turner. So Fungi is our VP for tech transfer, external research, or not research.
So
He's
it's not a
got
fan guy?
fan guy, Fungi. I always call. Nah.
Is that going to nullify the P3 grant? Because I didn't think that you could get funding outside
Well, here's what it says. It says, proposals with commercial potential are encouraged to apply to the SBIR. This is after. This is like, I think you want to at least mention that you would like to compete for their funding. They like to hear that. Toxic substances. We might want to look at this thing. Toxic Substances Control Act. I mean, they'll actually take this pretty seriously. If we're getting our panels from ML Solar and they're, dumping cadmium into the Yangtze River in China, that might be something we should check out. Let's do this. Where does ML Solar source their where does ML Solar source its materials? Clean air, clean water, safe drinking water. I don't know if those. Okay.
I have an idea for expanding this that would involve water.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's trying to grow green grass in their yards. And
Sure.
wasting a bunch
Oh
of
my
water.
God, yeah.
What if you had solar yards, where you replace your yard with a bunch of these things?
Oh yeah.
4 panels. No longer trying to water it to grow green grass. You're making energy instead of wasting.
I like that. I mean, I like the whole solar garden.
Yeah, they're just solar yards. I wish I would have thought of that 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Well, I like that idea too, but everybody likes grass.
Yeah, I know.
They like having a yard.
They need to stop.
Not everybody does.
They need to stop.
Not everybody does.
They need to stop. Okay, I think we had that conversation earlier.
Well, they're going to have to stop eventually.
People are not willing to, in this lifetime, stop doing stuff that they're accustomed to. It's like my grandfather, he says, we need to drill for more oil. I don't care if there's any more oil left. He says, I'm 89 years old, and that's what you're looking at. You're looking at somebody that's not going to be willing to trade the 10 feet of yard that they've worked for all of their life to go out and put a lawn chair on and just run their fingers through it, smell the musty dirt and stuff in it. You're
That's a good point.
gonna have that problem.
It is a good point.
No, it's a totally good point. And
I mean, they need.
you'll always have
so
those people.
what?
Yeah.
When you say, I need to do something, that rings a freaking red flag in my belt. Ding, ding, ding.
This is your-
I don't need to do anything but
Yeah.
live, eat, breathe, and
Exactly.
someday I'm gonna die. And I'm gonna get as much out of this world right now as possible, and that's what they're thinking. When you say need, no, that rings,
Yeah.
that,
It's true.
it would be beneficial if, for everyone to change their yards over into a solar deck yard, yeah. Be beneficial, even one thing, if you could run your yard sprinkler system off of the solar panel, that's where I went with that. That'd be, so I could put a solar panel out on half my yard, and I wouldn't have to water the other half.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, it's true.
I don't think
We're-
they're embracing that.
No, you're totally, I mean,
But
that,
they need,
the-
eventually, they will not need to, because in 30 years, most of them are gonna be dead, and what they need to do then is just be dead.
Yeah,
The rest of us aren't paying for their mistakes.
I expressed that in reference. I started it. It's all right.
yeah. No, but you will have the weird guy with the solar yard, and he can just be the weird guy, but he's gonna be the one, his lights are still on when the brownout happens, right? It's just, it's the same I told you so kind of thing. So, yeah.
But that's like my grandfather saying, and most of the elderlies that, are out there today are still gonna keep saying, I don't need to make a solar panel because there's still oil.
Oh, I know.
It's out there, I know
Yeah.
it's there, you just need to let them drill here and here and here because them environmentalists are all screwed up in the
Yeah.
head. That's coming from him.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I've listened to Rush Limbaugh. I know they're out there.
Oh, you listen to my cousin. Rush Limbaugh's like my fourth cousin.
Is he? Hilarious.
I'm my grandmother's son.
Turn that off once in a while just to hear what
I know, I love it.
Sean had it too.
Sean Hannity.
God, that guy's an asshole.
Hey, it's people suck it up, man. Okay, note that the project's focus consists of activities within the statutory terms of EPA's financial system, must address,
Betterment.
okay, here we go, must address the causes, effects, extent, prevention, reduction, elimination, air pollution, water pollution, solid hazard, toxins, wow. Okay, that's a lot.
Water pollution and solid hazardous waste pollution.
So here we go. Proposals should emphasize the learning concept as opposed to fixing an environmental problem. You're not, so we've kind of given up on the fixing. We're just going to just do what we can to educate.
Yeah.
Proposals relating to other topics, which are sometimes included within the term environment, such as recreation, blah, 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 must describe. So we're not doing that. Okay, well, so let's make a note of this one too. This is pretty critical.
Solid waste, solid hazardous waste pollution,
Yeah,
toxic substances control.
yeah,
I'm looking at solid waste.
Sure.
And I'm thinking plastics.
yeah,
We could recycle upstream plastics.
yeah.
We could upstream even, could we upstream substances for batteries? See, that's.
Maybe, I think that's what McChain is doing a lot of already.
So could
He's sort of keeping them, he's like keeping them in the technosphere a little longer for the,
I think after I get done here, I'm gonna go over to Batteries Plus again. I'm gonna start taking some brand names off of batteries.
okay,
Okay, so I'm thinking in my head, if we could find a company, like you had mentioned, where is ML Solar getting the substances?
Yeah.
Are they getting, are they polluting?
Sure.
If we're getting upstream battery components that have already been recycled.
Yeah.
So we're getting the recycled batteries, so we want to look at that and invest in the recycled. So all our plastics are recycled.
yeah,
All our batteries are being recycled.
Yeah.
And this, and this, we've got to make these out of a fresh component, maybe, possibly.
yeah,
So if we could get all of our supplies upcycled, then they're gonna look at it like, you're not trying to fix an environmental problem.
mm-hmm,
You're trying to use that problem to increase the prosperity of the planet.
I like that. I wish I could figure out how to remanufacture batteries too. I mean, I don't think you just have
I've
a,
been looking for the last weekend, and on that last boat where I got the batteries.
Yeah.
That's the scientific article that has a bunch on how batteries work.
okay,
I've been trying to understand how the lithium ion works as compared to the lead
sure,
acid.
nice.
It's so brainwashing.
Yeah, it gets pretty gnarly.
I mean, you actually gotta be brainwashed with calculus to be able to
Yeah,
understand how that's.
yeah, I know, yeah,
I think you can do that.
There's a
but
thing
I
in
don't
here about
At the moment.
Yeah.
OLEDs, organic LEDs. I'm just kind of fascinated.
You know what fascinates me when you
Yeah.
talk about
They're
that?
replacing semiconductors with organic compounds.
yeah,
The
yep,
first fire that I was on, we got flown into the Dorshak Reservoir. We got on, at a headquarters, we got on a plane. We got flown across Dorshak Reservoir to, gosh, I can't remember the airstrip. They flew us into the airstrip, and we waited on the airstrip for an hour. And a helicopter come in and picked four of us up and dropped us into a fire in Floodwoods, which is, they call it Floodwoods because it was just a bunch of trees on it.
were you guys parachuting in, or how you?
No, we just basically, he hovered and we jumped out of the airplane and then they
Oh.
pushed out a bag of stuff and all of our tools and stuff.
Helicopter? Yeah,
Helicopter.
yeah, yeah.
And so we ran down the hill, we built a fire line around it, we had to stay there that night. And I believe the next night, we stayed there again. That second night, we had built the fire line, we just didn't have anything to do, so we had ringed it already, and you ring a fire is basically you take the fuel away from the fire, so it
Yeah,
doesn't
sure.
burn any further.
Yeah,
And on that second night, the kid, I don't know if he's dead now, I called him Kool-Aid because he had chapped lips so bad it looked like he had
oh, yeah,
Kool-Aid stain.
Kool-Aid mustache, yeah.
And he said, hey man, come here, check this out. We went down there, and there was a root substance in the ground It was a
Oh,
from a
yeah,
tree
glowing.
that was glowing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But there's a little bit of phosphorus in there. So it's the same effect that, you know, the old TV screens where you'd have phosphorus coated screen. When the electron hit the phosphorus, it would basically pop one of the phosphorus electrons up into a higher orbital. And again, same thing. When that electron comes back down, it emits at whatever wavelength. But yeah, it's a natural
So it's just a natural neon.
phosphate. Yeah, phosphorus.
Because neon tubes have phosphorus in it.
They do
Phosphorus. and-
for different colors because they're mostly just neon. I mean, it's mostly just.
Neon, fluorescent tube, I mean,
Oh yeah,
fluorescent tubes.
phosphorus. Yeah,
If you look at that, I've got that.
is this on your paper?
Yeah, it's on my paper. It's not really a paper, it's just more me collecting.
Sure, yeah.
Sites and paraphrasing, so I don't have to go back and look at it again.
Yeah, good.
What plant that is?
It'd be up, because it was so much research, so it'd be up towards the top. Fluorescent tube, relatively, there's mercury and phosphorus.
Yeah.
And another problem we have, yes, I didn't, sorry.
No, that's no problem.
One of the other problems that you have with neon tube, or not neon tube, I don't know if a neon tube uses, but fluorescent tube, you have to have like a charge pad on the side. It's a
Ballast.
ballast.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Let's finish looking at the RFA. Note to applicant. Or product produced or developed in a period of time under the agreement. Outcome. We should definitely look at this thing. Note to applicant. Let's copy that. Let's put this one down here.
So if we get the 15 grand, we're expected next spring to bring it in.
Yep.
And if we get the 90 grand, after that, we're expected next fall.
I think there's just one. I think they choose the phase 2 folks in DC in the spring. So they'll select the 40 or so phase 1s, bring them all to DC, 40 teams go to DC, and then of those 40, they select 10 and say, here's your $90,000, go for it. And then there's a report after that. Generally a project, okay, so let's put this in here. Work product, okay. Innovative, inherently benign, integrated, technical policy knowledge. That might be, that's you there, Orem. Yeah? Policy?
Policy knowledge as entertaining.
I guess-
Sustainability, human society. Policy knowledge is.
Or maybe that's more Adam with the arrow thing.
That's
Learning about
40
policy.
CFR, that would be, I can,
40 CFR, what's that?
well, policies are the Code of Federal Regulations.
Hmm.
It's Number 40, Code of Federal Regulations.
Okay.
OMB is the circular. Those are Code of Federal. Roll up through that again, because there's application regulations and the policies. Keep going. There's your NEPA.
Oh, yeah.
Those are section 1 and 2. I'm not up on those, but I could do it quick.
Yeah, I think.
Maybe if you want me to do that, maybe that would be like an assignment for me this week.
Yeah, I'm thinking probably these two, the solid waste and the toxic substances. Improvement in land disposal practices. I like number 4 there, production of usable forms of recovered resources. They might want us, I mean, I think they will want us to quantify this. Innovation and sustainability. A new method, custom or device.
In other words, are we going to be able to sustain this without further government funding, governmental
Yeah.
funding? Can we take their 90 grand and make the business
Yeah.
run from that stage?
Sure.
And sustain itself down the road?
Sure. There's a little bit of market analysis there
Yes,
too.
supply and demand.
If we could sort of see like how, maybe this paper, maybe, look forward, see if anybody's actually gone modeling. A lot of these are probably very academic.
Well, yeah, there's all scientific, it's where the science.
Power for development.
That first one that I cited, that Adonis or.
Yeah, that's the one we're looking at the folks that cited that one. From carbon to light, infrastructure. This one might have some estimates on,
Innovative business models for scale-up of energy access.
there we go, yeah, nice. Innovative business model.
I had kids, I was thinking Adonis, I don't know.
Hishram Zephyr. Let's take a look at that one, yeah. Scale up. Despite years of effort primarily by governments and donors, the ability of large portions of the world's population to access modern and efficient remains out of reach. I'm not sure we're going to solve that problem, 1.5 billion people.
That's 1.5 billion rely on biomass for the primary cooking fuel. Yeah.
So these guys are mainly looking at, they're looking at the business model. Let's see if we can,
Have to get the whole text to see the videos.
yeah, let's try to look up full text. Download PDF.
So are we focusing on just the lighting aspect, and we're not gonna try to get into the microgrid stuff?
I don't know.
Running other appliances?
I like the idea of, I like the 12-volt microgrid idea. I really do. I mean, it's like my little,
Well, if we did the 12-volt microgrid, we're making it portable, right? Because it's gonna go in and out. The lamp that I was gonna try to show you, that has it's basically the bow system hooked to
Yeah.
the lamp.
Yeah.
You have a plug-in hooked right to the lamp.
oh, nice, okay.
So you can turn the light off and hook something else into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are gonna keep that aspect.
I think we should, and that's why, and I want to go and look and see if there's an ANSI standard for 12-volt microgrid. I think that's important. We need to see if like that's something on the horizon, because they're like, oh, guys, didn't you see there's a new 12-volt standard coming out? Why didn't you just plug into that? Like, well, yeah, we thought about it. Let
Because
me,
I think that would hit the market that we basically eliminated with our 3-cent calculation.
Mm.
We're gonna save 3 cents a day. At 3 cents a day, how much is one of these lights? Okay, so I'll go with the 1,000 lumen lights, shines 8 hours, and on Lake Victoria, $280. And how many days is it gonna take you to save 3 cents a day at $280? Plus, you're gonna have to look into the human aspect of, what's this worth for me, my time? So if I'm only saving 3 cents a day, hey, I can spare 3 cents. I'm just gonna turn the light switch on. So
Yeah, we need to figure
we'll
out.
hit that market with the Barbie people that say, oh, this is the novelty that I'm looking at.